If you're fascinated or interested in tarots and card readings in general, and maybe you're learning how to read them, or you enjoy receiving card readings, or in general you want to understand at a deeper level how readings work, then this video is for you. I am a spiritual coach and an intuitive channeler, and in this video I'm going to give you my insights about tarot readings and how in general the card reading works. But before going to the topic, I want to give you a small background about myself so you understand where I come from. So my spiritual awakening actually happened because my psychic abilities woke up, activated instantly. Before then, I did not believe in anything. I actually grew up in a complete atheist family. So I never went to religious class. I knew nothing about religion, spirituality. I didn't even know it was a word. I didn't even know what that was. If you want to know more about my story, you can find the link down in the description. So as I was saying, I grew up completely skeptic. I was not a believer at all. But after my awakening, after that, I started to feel energies and to receive messages and to really feel things that normally you don't feel. Of course, I started to question, and I really got connected to the right teachers and the right channels that explained me and taught me very quickly and very fast. I was really lucky in this, even though I don't believe in luck. And that year, without even knowing why, the universe basically brought me into this retreat. It was in Italy 2 years ago, in which was all about tarot readings. Learning specifically, it was learning about how to read tarot. And this retreat was really all about this deck, which is the tarot deck of Jodorowsky, Alexander Jodorowsky. It's one of the, I'm sorry, the thing, it's not, it's a bit broken because it has been lived, it has come with me in so many places. So it's not, I understand it's not super pretty. This trip was all about learning everything about this deck, because this is one of the original decks ever for tarot. I think it was drawn in the Middle Age, like 1300th century. I don't even know if that's the right way to say it in English. But anyway, I even bought the book about this. It is really, as you can see, I've studied it in depth. It's literally the whole study of this book. It's incredible. Written by Jodorowsky, the author. So if you understand how it is for me, I really enjoy really studying and understanding. And before this retreat, I really did not believe in anything. Like after that, I came out as a believer. I came out as somebody that loves tarot readings. I became, I don't want to say obsessed, but really passionate about this. So now that I understand a bit where I come from and my approach to this topic, let me get in depth with this. So as I was saying, there are mainly two types of cards. We have tarots, which come from the original tarot decks. I believe there are two. This is one of the original ones, but there is another one which is even more famous. I don't have it. And basically, those were basically channeled by these creators of cards. And out of those cards, all the other decks come. Because you can see, these are, if you look at these drawings, they're like literally a medieval style. They literally are, very old and very traditional. And by the way, I believe that if you're interested in learning about tarot, I really recommend this deck as a first one, because it lays the ground, the basics to learn all the rest. Because once you understand this deck, all the rest, they all come from this. Because all the other decks you see, all these very artistic and beautiful decks, they all come from this. They're just an artistic representation from these ones. But when you study this, when you understand how this works, how to read the basic tarots, then you can read anything else. So, and the second type are oracle cards. And oracle cards are completely different. They don't have a structure like the tarot. So the tarots you see are all done in the same way. You have the major arcanas, and then you have the smaller arcanas, right? You have cups, swords, so the ones that usually also used to play, and that's where they come from the original, from these cards. But the oracle cards are completely different. They are channeled, so they can contain anything that the author thinks that it's relevant for the intention of that channeling. So for example, you see here, these are completely different. And each one of them has a meaning that the author channeled for that. So when you buy, every oracle card is unique. Oracle deck is unique. And normally, if you're drawn to them, you will find it. It's the ones that call you the most. This was my first oracle deck that I bought. It's about animals. It's beautiful. I love it. By the way, I will link all the decks that I'm using, but it's just to share my my passion about that. It's it's completely personal, because every person finds their own deck. And at the end of this video, I'm going to do a small card reading for all that are watching this video, just to give a message. So stay until the end so that you will get the message also for you. So how does it work? How can you read cards? More important, how do they deliver a message that you're meant to hear? How does it work in the background? So everything that you see around you, every single thing, the trees, the clouds, you, the music, every single thing is composed by energy. And because everything is energy, how do you express it in a different way? How do you see a tree that is different from a cloud? How do you see the moon that is different from the sun? How do you see differences in that? It's because of the vibration that determines that specific object. According to the vibration, you will see something that has that specific shape, that specific color, that specific visual with respect to other objects, other emotions, other things. Every single thing differentiates itself with the vibration that it carries. And we can see it in everything. Colors have a different spectrum of vibration. Red brings you out some emotions, blue, other emotions, yellow, they have a different vibrations as well as emotions. Love, hate, peace, joy, they all have a different vibration. So everything is translated into vibration that your body perceives as emotion. So the emotion that you feel is simply the way that your body translates something, the vibration of something, so that you can decode it and understand the vibration. And this means that if everything is decoded through vibrations, every symbol has a certain vibration. The heart, right, represents love. The heart is a symbol that represents love, so therefore it will bring the vibration of love. And this is exactly how cards work, because they report symbols on them. You see? Not only symbols, they represent also emotions, the people, and colors. So the people on the cards, they're doing specific actions, they're using specific colors, there are specific elements on the card, and the persons represented in the figure, for example, has a specific look, a specific emotion. Every single thing in this card is not random. I'm taking a random card, by the way. Could be anything. Let's take a musician, maybe it's nicer. Every single thing has a purpose. That's why I'm saying that cards are channel, because you see here, every single thing that you see in this card represents something. A table here that has 3 legs and not 4. There is a reason why you don't see 4 legs, right? It's because it wants to represent a specific thing. The apprentice is still not, I'm just doing an example here, just to make you understand how this works. It's still just, is learning, is magician, is the apprentice. The apprentice that is learning a certain skill, and he is building his skill set. And in this table that represents the stability, table is stability, right? There are 3 legs because they represent still instability by learning something. He's looking at something else. He has a lot of tools here because he's still learning. He has a lot of things. He has a lot of skills that he needs to use to learn how to use his skills, because he's still learning what he needs to do. It's kind of like, I can do everything. What with the tools that I have all the tools to create everything I want. What do I want to create? And he has the magic wand in his hand to create anything out of the tools that he has. And he's still young. You see, he's young because he's still learning. So what I want to say is that every single thing that you see on every card, and any card really, is there for a specific reason. It brings out a vibration of every single thing. So being young, being, you understand what I mean, right? And so the cards that are chosen bring out a specific message that is represented what is in here. And that's why I'm saying that oracle cards are completely different, because they are completely channeled. You can find a lot of things. So you have the fox, and you have the white witch, and then you have these oracle cards normally come with a explaining book that tells you the story of this card. So you don't have to do the channeling on your own. You don't have to tarots. You have to learn them to understand them. Otherwise, there is no point in you could ever understand this. But oracle cards are for everyone, because they normally come always with a book that tells you, what's inside, and you just read the message, you read what the card tells you, and that's it. So you just pick a card and that's it. So how do you make sure that you pick the right card so that you can receive the right message? So in general, it's very simple. If you understand how this works, which is all through vibration and symbols, your intuition will let you know what is the right symbol, the right cards that tells you what you want to know. And there are, I would say, 2 main ways for which you can take cards. So first you ask the question. For example, can I have a message that I'm meant to hear right now? And then you shuffle the cards, right? You just relax and you follow your body. Your body will be guided in that moment to make sure that you pick the right card. Sometimes, for example, I have my hand that slips out and a card falls. For in this case, like my hands was falling. Or sometimes like you do something like this, and there's some cards that just draw your attention, and this is another way to know which ones you're doing. Or sometimes they just fall off, or they just discover, and you just pick the one that got your attention, sometimes they just literally fall off. You see, like something like that. And this is the first way, and this is the way I like it the most, because it's like you just don't think about it, just relax, and then the cards do everything. And then basically you just pick them up, normally in the order that they come out, and you check them and you read them. The second way is by you basically spread them, and you pick the ones that caught your attention. And how do you read them? When you ask for the question, you need to be very intentional of what you're asking, and then just relax and wait for basically the answer to manifest through your cards. If it is an oracle deck, as I said, it's very simple. You just pick the book and you see what it says. But for tarot readings, it's all about basically seeing what caught your attention and what you know about that card, because you know it symbolizes something. And then you just let your intuition guide you to look at the details. So maybe from the deaths, you will look at, maybe these two heads caught your attention particularly, and they represent, by the way, parents, like cutting off old connections. For example, if you look at this and you are caught off immediately to these two heads, it will tell you about cutting off relationship with somebody, like old connections. So it really depends what intuition tells you. Your intuition simply will point you, will make your attention go towards something, your eye, will bring you to look at something. It's the same way how you know which cards to pick. It's the same. And if you are a bit doubting about how do I know, that I'm picking the right cards, how do I know that I'm not fooling myself or whatever, I will tell you a small story that happened 2 years ago. I was celebrating Christmas with the ex-boyfriend I was with at the time, and we spent Christmas with this family. And in Italy, what we do for Christmas after you eat, you play a lot of games. There are many according to different parts of Italy. Anyway, we were in the center of Italy, so we played a card game that is very famous. It's very famous. I'm not even going into detail, but how it works is that simply so there are a lot of people, as many as you want. We were, 10, 12, don't remember. And basically it works in this way. You have two decks which are identical. They have exactly the same cards. And one deck is needed you basically pick out 5 cards that will be the prizes from the lowest to the first one. And of course you play with money, right? So everybody bets money, and then you pick out 5 cards, and each one of them has a specific price. So maybe one is 50 euros, 40, 30, until 2 euros, from the lowest to the highest, according to how many people there are. And then the second deck, which is identical, basically you spread cards to all the participants, like 2 each. Before starting the game, everybody has picked their cards. So you have 2 cards that have been given. And on the table, there are 5 cards that have been picked as the prizes. And I'm going to the point why I'm bringing this example. I remember that I was completely into this card reading at the time. I was so passionate. I would perform readings all the time, like even on people that didn't want to receive them. I was like, no, trust me, I will give you a message. By the way, don't ever do it, because if somebody doesn't want a reading, just don't give it to them. Anyway, so I remember that I was obsessing my ex-boyfriend at the time. I was performing readings on him, and he didn't want, because he was even more skeptical than me at the time. He didn't want to, even though I must say that he could see for himself that it made sense. Every reading I did on him made sense. So anyway, going back to the story. So they distributed cards, 2 cards each. In that moment we had it. And then we picked the 5 cards for the prize. And I remember that there was the guy that was the banker, there is always a main game. There is always a main master. I don't know the name for that. But anyway, somebody that directs the game. And basically he was saying, each one of you can pick, a card for the prize. And I remember that he said, "Hi, Federica, you want to pick a card?" And my ex-boyfriend at the time, he said, "Oh shit, we're screwed." And I was like, "Yeah, sure, of course." And in that moment, like, I woke up and went to the other cards, the ones from which to take the prize. And there was one that immediately caught my attention. Of course, I picked it. Like, it was almost moving. So I picked it, and he said, "So which prize do you want to put it?" I was like, "First prize." Of course, that card that I picked was the one one of the 2 that I was already having given to play the game. So basically, to win, I didn't have to do anything, because I already had the first prize within my card. Because the cards were already being given, my intuition already knew which was the card under it, and already told me which card to pick, which was the first prize. I'm not kidding. Like, there was 12 people there. So yes, the method it does work. Trust your intuition, because I promise you it does work. So as of today, I don't really read cards anymore. Honestly, I didn't take this out since months, because it teaches you how to listen to intuition. And then it propels you towards something else. So after that, when I started doing channeling and I started to really enjoy channeling, I saw that cards weren't needed anymore. But it's more like they just make you feel the magic, because they're beautiful, honestly. So yeah, today I don't perform channelings anymore on clients, and I don't perform readings anymore. But I've learned so much in the process. In the past 2 years, I've worked with so many other energy healers and channelers, and I've really explored this world inside out. I've practiced so much, and I've learned so much, and it taught me so much about this world. So basically, what I do, I help you read whatever you want to read. Honestly, cards, connecting to your intuition, connecting to your higher self, to your spirit guides, channel anything that you want. Basically, I can help you develop these gifts and discerning the messages that you receive and connect to your intuition. So if you want any support with that, you can find all my links below, in the link below. And if you don't want to miss any other content about spirituality and everything, you can subscribe to the channel, because I upload videos like this every single week. And now it's time for your reading that I promised. And honestly, I must say I'm not super happy about this. I don't know why I promised this, because I don't do it since a lot of time. But I will extract some cards that call me. Normally what I do is that I check when I used to do it, I see what are the decks that call me, that attract my attention, and then I pick up from this. So for this, what calls me is these two. So I'm using this Millennium Toss and this Oracle of Animal Spirits. It's in Italian, but anyway, you don't need to see that. It's going to be just a small reading, just a small message, just for fun, because we talked about this. So my intention is, what message do the watchers of this video, regardless of the time, to receive right now? What message do the watchers of this video need to receive right now? Oh. Okay. So I picked two cards. Two cards from the deck of Animal Spirits. These are the two cards. I hope you see them. I really hope you see them. One is 12, Spirit of the... Oh my god. These are two birds. This is the yellow one, canary. I don't know how it is in English. And this is the one that sings. And this one is sing your song. And this one says love is everywhere. 12 and 41. These are two cards. And the other ones are... We have Four of Swords, the Universe, Prince of Pentacles, which is the Page of Pentacles, if I'm not mistaken, and Lust, which is from the original tarot, which is the Strength. So what comes to me intuitively, this is really a loving message for all of those that are watching. We have the Four of Swords, which is when you feel stuck into a certain situation where you are, wherever you are. It's kind of like it's represented, the original card of this is represented like as a person with four swords that are blocking you to a bed, something like that. And it's like represents like when you're stuck into... Swords are thoughts, mental. So when you are basically stuck in a mental loop that doesn't allow you to proceed further, and therefore you believe that you're stuck, but you believe that you are stuck where you are. But it's only an illusion, because we know that the mind is simply an illusion. Like all the thoughts are, blocking. So like beliefs, limiting beliefs are simply illusions. Once you release them, you're free. And so, as you can see, we have these two birds that are basically telling you love is everywhere, and bring out your gifts, like sing your song, basically. Basically believe that love is everywhere, because even though you believe that you may be stuck wherever you are, but that you're maybe in a mental loop of something that you believe, you think that you're stuck, actually you're not, because love is everywhere, and love is telling you to bring out your gifts, to sing your song. And basically what happens when you sing your song, when you sing your gifts, when you you unleash your gifts into the world, what happens? We have the universe, strength, and the prince, and the page of Pentacles. Page of Pentacles is the beginning of, is when you grow into a new person that can create wealth for themselves. It's like starting to create wealth and abundance for yourself, foundations for yourself. It's kind of like, there's movement here, right? And the universe is literally when represents completely the ending of a cycle and the start of a new cycle. It's stepping into a whole new world. It's literally a whole cycle that is finished. The universe is the last card of the deck. It's the ending of a whole journey, and which every ending, it means that there is a start for something else. And the last strength is basically when you learn to integrate the mind and the intuition. So the animal represents your instinct, your intuition. And there is a woman here that has learned to use it, has learned to use those emotions, those intuitive messages that you receive to your favor, to create your abundance, to create your strength, to use it for yourself, to use it to create abundance and to get out of your cage. Yeah, and step into the new world that you deserve. You deserve, once that you understand that love is everywhere and that you only have to share your gifts with the world. So yeah, I believe that's it. I hope you enjoyed this small reading, and if you have any comments, just let me know in the comment section as always. And yeah, I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.